So I woke up about an hour and some change ago, and I was listening to some music. Then I went to go brush my teeth and wash my face. And yes, my face may look a little wet. I let my face air dry. Sometimes I don't. I just like doing that sometimes to be lit. And while I was brushing my teeth, I left the music on, and a song had came on. Too Short, Too Short. The Ghetto by Too Short came out in 1998. It's a banger song. It's heat. And it's talking about some real shit. So, yeah, I just woke up, so I didn't get to set none up. See, all my lights is off. Yeah. Should I do this, or should I just open up the blinds? I probably should just open up the blinds. Hold up, see? I just woke up, so I didn't set nothing up yet. How it look? It's bright, but look at Connecticut. It's so dirty out here. Okay. Put this up right here. Put this against this. It's gonna stay? Yes? Okay. All right. So while I was brushing my teeth earlier, Too Short came on. The Ghetto by Too Short came out in 1990. Hip hop song, good beat, good everything. And the storytelling on that is fire. It brought something that he had said in the song came to my attention. Now, obviously, we know the deeper meaning of that song. I can do an analysis on that in the future, but we already know what that means. I don't need to do an analysis like you never, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't understand what that means. That's enough description within itself. What I wanted to talk about was a piece out of the song in one of his, I think it was in the third verse that he had said, the education system. He basically, in that third verse, he was talking about how in the education system that we are taught, and when I say we, I mean children, the youth, the younger people, and you could divide it by race and ethnicity if you want. I wouldn't do that. I'm not sure how other ethnic groups are taught in schools. I just know that like Black kids, colored children were taught this. So in the song, he was talking about in the schools, how they teach the young, people of color about violence and about tarnished history. So then when we grow up doing bad, tarnishing things because it's all we know. We grow up doing violent things. We tend to cling to the violence because that's all we're taught. Just like when I've heard this before. Like if a woman was in an abusive relationship, right? If she grew up hurt or abused or anything, she will grow up. She grows up with that. She will find somebody that replicates that because that's all she knows. That's all she finds. She's gonna find an abuser. You get what I'm saying? So it's almost like clinging to what you grew up with. Just like how they say your character always define who you want to find, who you want to look for in in relationship stuff. That I don't want to drift off into that. That's too much besides my point already. What I want to stay on is the school education system. So I wanted to talk about that because that is a issue, and I noticed that issue for me. And this is the reason why I started to not like school anymore. I started to not take school serious when I was in high school, when I was in school, period. I already was aggravated with school. You know how kids are when kids say they don't want to go to school. But as time went on, I really started to lose effort. I started half-assed in school. That's when my grades started dropping. I used to be this A+ student, and I still was an A+ student in high school. I still had hella A's, but it was like there were more times when I was bouncing to other letters in the alphabet versus just sticking at A. I used to be just only A, maybe a B. But now I was like A's, B's, maybe a C, maybe a B, then back to A. It was like I just didn't care, right? I'll miss a day of school, then make it up, or I'll probably miss a day of school and then don't make it up. I just really wasn't really caring. I was like, I'm about to be out of high school with, And I had graduated high school early. I had an extra credits. I had skipped 8th grade math in middle school and went down and did high school math in middle school. And then COVID hit, and you know all that. But that's not what I want to talk about. That's all just extra context for me. I'm not trying to show off anything. I notice how in the school system, yes, they tend to teach us more of a tarnished history. Throughout school, period, they always tend to teach us about World War II, our history, slavery, segregation, Jim Crow laws, Uncle Sam. They always talk about the same thing, yeah. And to be honest, they really don't even talk about Uncle Sam. The reason why I added Uncle Sam was because they always tell us about how the laws are made, which is Uncle Sam in a way, in a form. But it's not what they base their education system. I would rather respect the education system if they based it on of how of course they teach us the founding fathers and the amendments and how the Constitution, of course, yeah, they teach us that, but it always tended to reach slavery or activism and it just makes us feel like, oh, we just have a bad history that's always supposed to know. I never respected the school education system off of that too, because that's all they taught us. They always repeat back to that, even in grade school, right? Elementary, in third and fourth grade, they taught us World War II and slavery. And then middle school, 5th grade, we're back to slavery again. But I just learned that in 3rd grade. I just learned that in 4th grade. 2nd grade is a few activism, right? Then 6th grade, World War II again. And not even Vietnam. I didn't really learn more about Vietnam until like 8th grade, realistically. They didn't teach us that until like late middle school, kinda. Cold War, late middle school-ish, right? But it always was a tarnished Black history for us. That's why I don't respect the education system as a form of programming. What I do respect is we know history, but we only know that form of history. You get what I'm saying? If they mentioned more on, there's a lot of things that can bring up in history that I tend to Google and research about. Like, talk more about Vietnam, what they were really doing in Nam. I respect that because I like the Vietnam War studies. Talk more about different things that happened in World War II if you're going to mention World War II. Don't only talk about slavery and running and the slave masters and them teaching false Christianity. To be honest, matter of fact, bringing that up, they never even really taught us about false Christianity. Like, to teach us more about that, false religion and shit like that. Like, get a little realistic in here. They never even really taught us that until like high school. See? Here we go again. So they make it seem like stay in school, you need school, you need school. But my nigga, if you're gonna keep repeating the same stuff, technically I could have been graduated school from like 4th, 5th grade. I could have graduated school back in 2014, 2015. While I was like 8 years old, 9 years old. So yeah, that kind of came up in my mind based off the song. The song was basically talking about how when you're taught the wrong, you tend to grow up doing the wrong. So you can't really blame them because that's all they know. It also ties back to, last week I was in the midst of making a Kendrick Lamar video, and the video came out to be too long, so I had deleted it. It was an analysis breakdown on like his albums. I like how Kendrick talks about real shit. That's why I always thought of Kendrick as one of my favorite rappers, because he talks about real stuff. That's why I was so mad when everyone was so obsessive over Not Like Us when he has better stuff than that. To Pimp a Butterfly and Damn, songs off Damn. Kendrick talked about real stuff that was going on. A lot of rappers use hip hop to do that. So that kind of brought this to my attention, The education system, I can't respect it. The problem with it is that it tends to teach us the same shit, and it tends to teach us the worst of the worst. I understand your honesty. I understand, yes, this is part of history, but when this is the only thing that we know, it's going to make it sound like this is the only thing that we're capable of doing. Teach them greatness. Teach them stuff that's going on now. Teach them stuff that can actually form the kid's mind, motivation, power, strength. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if this is a problem that goes on across the whole entire education system, because let's be honest, different schools teach different shit. Like Achievement First taught us what I was just talking about earlier, but I'm pretty sure 10 different other schools in Connecticut is not teaching that. They're teaching a form of that, but I'm pretty sure they weren't teaching specifically that. I'm pretty sure private schools is not teaching that. And then when you go to college, right? College tends to re-bring up stuff from high school again. You have to graduate college with over 100 credits, and they're teaching you shit that you already know from middle school, high school, right? Just to grab more money from you. I don't mess with the education system. I don't respect that. I can't respect it. I respect learning and getting an education. I respect always wanting to know more, but I do not respect having to that scamming system where we're just looped around the same thing, and you want to add a paycheck to it, or a price to it, I should say. I don't mess with that. I can't. I'm sorry. Not only that, the song had mentioned this whole idea that I'm talking about, but it's funny because yesterday on Twitter, the Ye made a post mentioning, you know, yeah. So, and it's funny because he obviously had made that tweet yesterday, but today I happened to just come across the song and then now I have this idea and then I get to talk about it now for the video. And it's a good topic because we get to just unravel the problem of what is going on with the world. I wish that can be fixed. In all honesty, like I wish people can grow up more learning about how we can change things and influence the better versus always being taught about the bad and the wrong. And, you know, it just throws everything off on the wrong end. I don't know the education system on every school, obviously. They're each on the similar basis, but they're each formed differently. And I'm actually eager. I might Google it. I might research it after I made this video. But, you know, it's always good to know. There's a lot of songs that talks about, you know, stuff on this topic. And I respect when, you know, people put this music out. It's just to fix the narrative, the idea of just, well, we ain't shit. Because it doesn't have to be like that. You know, it doesn't have to be like that, even though there is, you know, a degrading part of life and there is a negativity to the truth in the world. But does it have to be only that? Does that have to be only it? So when we see the younger audience, hold up, let me fix this again. Is it like how, I don't remember how it was before. So when the younger audience grow up and they see like certain adults and certain celebrities with the aesthetic and the feel of ghetto-ness and the ghetto style and whatever it is, they may think that that's the way to be, that that's the way they should grow up, that's the style. That's the style of Black people. See, we are taught degrading music. I'm not degrading music. Not only that, but we are taught degrading information to make it seem like that's the only thing that we have. Then there's the side of kids who you know drop out of school, and then there are the ones who, you know, who go to school, but they got the celebrity influence in like the rap music and the hip hop, you know, and degrading music, the degrading hip hop that is playing in their ears. So then that's kind of like the style of Black kids, or I don't want to say Black kids, or ethnic kids, or, you know, colored kids. And I have to say it like that because that's how they put us out there. They put us out there like we nothing, like we don't have anything. Then that leads to my next point that I forgot to mention earlier, and I thought about it again. schools, colored, and I don't want to keep saying it, but I have to pull it apart piece by piece. Colored schools have, and I don't want to name race, but we have white teachers, right? So they're the ones that's teaching us, and then it makes it seem like, oh, we're ghetto and we're dirty and we look like we can't be saved. And, you know, white people get sick of us and they're like, ugh, like, look at these kids, look at these, you know? It makes it seem really worse than it has to be. Really bad than it has to be. It doesn't have to be like that at all. Unfortunately, that's just how it is, you know. If you just look to see how it is in schools and look to see how it is on social media and look to see, you could even look to see how it was in my school, you know? When you listen to what the kids be listening to, when you listen and you hear everything that they're talking about and the style of life they promoting, and then when you see the movies that we see, and then, you know, it makes it seem like we ain't shit. We really ain't shit. Because then you have these white people who are teaching black kids, and then the black kids are giving trouble. I gotta get real for a second, and I don't want to sound like it, but I got to. When we have it lined up the way it is, the fights, the cussing, the yelling, the way you dress, the way we talk, oh my God, nigga, of course it's gonna make it seem like we ain't shit. If you just look at it from afar, you just be like, wow, duh, how is this gonna turn out? And that's the messed up part about it. So looking back while I'm editing the video right here, looking back at the verse, it doesn't mean what I say it mean in you know, for the video. It means like, you know, not staying in school and dropping out, but it still was an idea that I had collected from that, and I was like, I gotta mention it. But that verse means more like, you know, not staying in school, not getting an education, which is something that we all have heard of before. But that is still a problem. Everything I talked about is still true though, because like, why the hell is that all we know? You know what I'm saying? But looking back at the verse, I'm like, wait. This is not what the verse really mean, but it's an idea that I collected from it, from my own thoughts. So I was like, why not just mention it and try and make this video? So